So I know for a fact you guys have seen this fragrance, this one, and this one before, and now we have some very good dupes of them that are definitely worthy of speaking of, so that's what we're going to talk about today. And listen, one of these fragrances now goes in as my favorite dupe in my collection, but you have to wait to find out. Yes, people, what is going on YouTube, and welcome back to another video. If this is the first video that you're watching of mine, my name's TJ, and over here on my channel I discuss all things fragrances and the fragrance industry. So if there's any content, anything at all that you would like for me to create, let me know down in the comments. So I'm not going to make this video too long, do not worry, but these are the fragrances that I've got here in front of me. So I've got Stephane Humbert Lucas Sandance and its dupe called Vulcan Sable. We've got Stephane Humbert Lucas God of Fire and the dupe is called Vulcan Feu or Feu. And then we have Kilian Paris's Smoking Hot and the dupe, which is, what is the bloody name? Called Venono. I actually was going to say Venom, but it's called Venono. And all of the dupes are made by French Avenue or Fragrance World. And if you guys have seen any of my dupe kind of videos or best dupes to get, you would have seen me speaking about these guys a lot recently, because they are probably going to be one of the most popular Arabian dupe fragrance houses, because most of the stuff they're putting out right now is absolutely fire. And I couldn't actually care less if you guys went out and bought these. It does nothing for me. I don't get any money for it, but I wanted to talk about them today because loads of people love dupes. Loads of people love this fragrance in particular, and I thought it would be good to speak about. So I thought I'd start off with Smoking Hot and then work my way up. And yeah, if any of you guys don't know this fragrance, it's from Kilian Paris, and this is actually a fragrance in my collection that I absolutely love, man. I think it smells amazing. But if any of you guys don't know the story about this fragrance, Kilian Hennessy himself, whenever he goes to Dubai, what he does is straight off the plane, he goes and gets himself a Hennessy on the rocks, and he gets that accompanied by a apple hookah or apple shisha, as we say here. And what he wanted to do with this fragrance is literally recreate that moment getting off the plane and going to secure those goodies into an actual bottle, and I honestly think he's done it perfectly. And I guarantee if you ask anybody about Smoking Hot, or anybody watching this who has tried this fragrance, even sampled a little 2 ml, the one word that people associate with Kilian Smoking Hot is beast mode. This fragrance is incredible. The projection on this is amazing. It lasts for a long time. I think whenever I wear this, it's at least 15 hours that I can actively smell it. And then on clothes, you might as well just forget about it because it ain't coming off even when you wash it. So yeah, if you haven't tried this fragrance, inside you're gonna get apple, because that's what he does, apple shisha. You're gonna get apple, you're gonna get the tobacco in there. I'm pretty sure there's some vanilla in there as it dries down. It does have a licorice kind of vibe, and to be honest with me, I don't like the sweet licorice. I will never eat that, but in the fragrance, like, it does smell like licorice. Loads of people do say that. But honestly, I think everything, the way it's done and crafted together, I think is excellent. And both of these are fragrances that I would go for in the evening time. Literally, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I wore this on my 30th birthday, which is obviously a milestone out of the 20s. I was in Dubai last December, a few months ago, and I went to Nobu with the missus. Anyone who follows me, you might have seen me rocking the green jacket and the shoes and whatnot. This is what I put on, and yeah, for that, it's got to be a memorable scent now, but it actually slapped and I could smell it the whole night. And now we're going to move on to this one here, and I'm just going to call this Venom because Venono is just a bit too mad to say. I'm going to call it Venom, but it is called Venono. Maybe you can see the logo there on the side. But listen, what they've done with this fragrance, in my opinion, they have absolutely mastered the opening, yeah? I wasn't going to say mastered the whole fragrance because they haven't, but in terms of the opening, before this video, I sprayed Smoking Hot on my left arm and this one on my right arm, just to see again, are they super close? And the opening for me is bang on. However, around the 10-minute mark, the OG Smoking Hot for me is still a bit more rich and smoky. You definitely pick those undertones up in the OG, whereas this one, it tends to get sweeter a lot more quicker than Smoking Hot does, and the smokiness for me isn't fully there. And you know what's funny with this? Because it's like an apple shisha kind of vibe and you do get the apple, what I was smelling initially was Jack Daniel's, the apple one. If any of you guys have tried it and you're overage, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's got that sweetness in there. To me, it does smell a little bit boozy, but maybe that's what I associate with Kilian fragrances. But yeah, I get more of the drink vibe than the smoky shisha vibe. So smelling these both again on my arm, I think I kind of know what happens with this fragrance. So the Venom one, I think everything that happens in Smoking Hot occurs in this one much quicker. So whereas the smokiness starts to fade and the sweetness comes through, this just happens in this fragrance much sooner. In this, I pick up that kind of dark woodiness after about 2-3 hours on skin. You're going to get that the 1 hour mark in this. So I think in terms of similarity, I would say 80%. 75 to 80% similar in venom to smoking hot. So now let's move on to the Stephane Humbert Lucas fragrances. And I know you guys' attention span and your head is probably going to explode because you want to see that blue bottle, but it's coming, trust me. But here we have Sandance by Stephane Humbert Lucas. And then this is the dupe from French Avenue called Vulcan Sable. And I know bottle design doesn't really do too much, but I'm a little bit weird. Like if there's a mad bottle that's just stupid, even if the fragrance is nice inside, I'm not gonna grab it. And I remember reviewing a fragrance from French Avenue before. It was in like a boat and it was called Pinnis. I think it was a dupe of Pacific Chill. When loads of people asked me about that fragrance, it's dead. I wouldn't grab it, to be honest. But the bottle is just so weird and it's not practical. So for that reason, I'll just chuck it away. But I've only just clocked now that they've done this with the bottle. So obviously, if you don't know, the Stephane Humbert Lucas collection is called the Serpent collection. So obviously that's why they've gone ahead with the kind of snake textured skin, not snake texture, printed skin on the lid. And then they've got the snake coming down the bottle. And to be honest, I actually like the bottle and it's nice without doing too much. So if any of you guys have got your nose on this one, then you'll know this is more of my kind of vibe of fragrance. Out of all three, this is the one that I would probably go for in terms of scent profile and smell. It's a warm, spicy fragrance, almost a gourmand as well. There's some chocolatey facets to it. There's a little bit of darkness. There's some woodiness in there as well. And I'm pretty sure as it dries down, there's some vanilla, there's benzoin, amber, all of that good stuff. And honestly, from the Serpent collection, in terms of smell, I would probably put this in the top 3. And again, this is the similar kind of time that I would wear this to the smoking hot fragrance. It would be in the evening. In the winter, I would rock it all day long. But I remember I picked this one up from H Beauty in Lakeside last summer. And then I only had the option to wear it like summer evenings. And for me, it done well. It smelled great. And what's super interesting to me is that I've actually seen a lot of reviews lately. I don't know why this has been popping up of people saying that Sandance has an animalic tone to it. And for me, I get none of that at all. I don't even think there's many woods in this. There's definitely not oud in this fragrance. So I'm not sure where people are getting that animalic touch from. So if you've got this in your collection, do you pick up them animalic tones or you like me? Nah. And now on to the dupe, and to be honest, they know what they're doing. They have recreated it. I'm hearing that this one's meant to be a lot more smoother than Sandance. For me, it's not. They've recreated it well. Whereas in Sandance, there's like a cacao note, but it almost comes across as like, almost like a milk chocolate. Super smooth, super soft. The only difference I'm finding with that chocolate note, which is probably the most prominent difference to my nose anyway, is that this almost smells like, you know, if you buy Cadbury's hot chocolate and then it's got that little silver thing you peel and then the dust literally comes up in the air. It's that dusty, rugged kind of chocolate that I get in this opposed to the smoothness in Sandance. And again, there's some woodiness in Sandance as it dries down. Once that kind of sweetness fades, what you pick up, and in this, not so much. And I think it's something that people will like. Not a lot of people like too sweet gourmand fragrances, so that dustiness might suit you more. And then a lot of people don't like the woodiness in fragrances, so that's toned down a little bit as well. So I actually think people might enjoy this fragrance much more to the original. Now, there's only one reason why I wouldn't repurchase Sandance, and it comes down to performance. And a lot of people with Stephane Humbert Lucas fragrances, they get issues with performance. And like I said, I love the smell, but when I've worn this one, I'm not getting any more than 6 hours out of it. And it comes down to the price, to be honest, because £175 for 50 ml and you're only getting around 6 hours performance and projection is pretty much minimal. That's the only reason I won't repurchase. But for me, that's a big reason. And this one here, I'm pretty sure is going to be 50 quid when it drops, which should be now. And then I think after a little while, all the sellers try and compete with each other. So the price will probably drop down to 40 pretty rapidly. And I think this is great for the price. In terms of projection, for me, it projects more than original Sandance. And in terms of longevity, I'm not getting anything crazy, but I'm getting around 7 hours, and for me, I think that's fair. And now we're on to the big boys, and this is the one that you guys were waiting for. So we have Stephane Humbert Lucas God of Fire. Absolutely beautiful bottle, I love it there. And can anyone pronounce that? Vulcan Feu or Fui? Who knows, man, but we've got the original and we've got its dupe. And to be honest, there's no better time for this video to be dropping for you guys coming into spring and summer, especially here in the UK. People are gonna be going on their summer holidays and whatnot in a couple of months. And I think the timing of this drop and the juice inside is incredible. And I'm pretty sure if you're watching one of my videos, you've definitely seen God of Fire by Stephane Humbert Lucas. But again, some people out there might not have tried and tested the fragrance. So let me give you a quick rundown. So this is a fruity tropical fragrance. In there you get mango, I think you get bergamot, and you get some sort of red berry in there. So it opens up super bright, vibrant, juicy, ripe. And I think I've said in loads of my videos when it comes to this, it reminds me of a Sun Exotic juice that I used to have like every day at secondary school. That's what it reminds me of. And then as this fragrance dries down, you get this kind of warmer tone to it, and it becomes like an ambery, juicy, fruity fragrance. And even in this scent, I don't know if it's just me, but they list oud in this fragrance, and maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but I pick up zero oud at all. I'm not even gonna waste your time. We can keep this short and sweet, because the same thing I'm gonna explain about God of Fire is the exact same in this one here, Vulcan Feu. So let me put this one away. So like I said, you get that same ripeness, you get that same juiciness, that fruity sweetness that you get in God of Fire, and there's not really any major differences that I can say from this one to the original. So I don't know, I might have to give this dupe seriously like a 10-10. And I think I did mention Stephane Humbert Luca's performance before, but I think God of Fire, especially when it comes to the Serpent collection, is one of the better performers. Loads of people out there say that you get 10 hours plus performance. On my skin, I don't really get that, I get 8. But a lot of people do say as well, some of them smell synthetic, like Venom Incarnate, a little bit like Pink Boa. And I think that's fair for people to say. I think God of Fire, there's nothing synthetic about it. It's straight, juicy, ripe, and it's a beautiful scent in my opinion. And normally with dupes or inspired by fragrances, there is a synthetic nature. And again, with this, there's not. Like, I don't know what I can say. Honestly, this is a great release. And I mentioned in the TikTok video as well that, you know, that kind of same hype that Liquid Brun got, the dupe of Altair. I honestly think the timing of this fragrance, we're gonna see the same or similar hype to Liquid Brun. Now I do get around the 8 hours mark in terms of performance with God of Fire, and projection for the first few hours is really good. I can't even lie to you guys. With this one though, performance is crazy. I sprayed this on after I jumped out the shower. I sprayed it on at 6 p.m. and then I woke up at 5 a.m. and it was still like beating off of me. And before I had a shower, I got this like 2 in the afternoon. I sprayed this like in the living room. And then before the missus came home, I was cooking rice and chicken, obviously, as a black man does, stereotypical. And she's come into the living room. Instead of smelling flipping rice and chicken, she's gone, oh, I can smell something like super sweet and fruity. And that's all it took for me to say, this thing here by French Avenue is 30. And look, I'm not here just trying to push dupe fragrances on you to purchase. I'm a massive fan of originals, as you guys know, and I still think God of Fire is definitely worth the money. But obviously, I like these alternatives coming about because not everybody can or is willing to spend £200 on a 50 ml of smelly water. So where this comes in and you can smell similar, sometimes exactly the same to the original for a fraction of the price. And at that £50 price mark, I think loads of people are willing to pay that. And quickly, before I end the video, you might see a different bottle right here. And this is more so for people in the UK because Ragnar, my boy Erda Ragnar, if you don't know him, check him out. But he released a dupe of God of Fire. His one is called Centurion. And I've already dropped a video saying this is a very good release. I like the fragrance, it smells amazing. So just for people in the UK, because this is a similar price to the French Avenue one, this is like 45-50 quid, same as that. If you already have this one, do not go out and buy a Vulcan Feu. Obviously, I can't tell you what to do, but all I'm saying is you don't need it, and vice versa. If you've already got that one, you don't need to go and buy this. And it's just crazy. In my opinion, dupes are just getting better and better. I do still love the originals, and I'm always going to be copying the originals, and I will never really give you guys a dupe review unless I have the original, because it just doesn't make sense. Someone's out there saying, yeah, this smells 90% similar to the original, and you smelled it one time. No, you have to have the fragrance. You have to have tested it, which I do with all the fragrances. So that's why I'm gassed to talk about these. And I can't wait for you to get your nose on all of these, but especially this one. But yeah, that is the end of the video. As always, I appreciate you guys locking in, showing love, dropping a comment, liking, sharing, all of that stuff. And if you've made it this far, like I always say, and you're not already subscribed, please do hit subscribe. I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. And as always, love for the love, my people.